This is Lakota hemp. It was grown by the White Plume family. This is what we're talking about. The DEA wants to say that this is the same as marijuana. They want to threaten the White Plume family with going to jail for dozens of years under mandatory minimums just because they want to use this to make bracelets, paper, things like that.
Make a living.
And make a living. Most importantly, thank you, make a living. In 2000, there was a very substantial DEA raid. Dozens of agents raided the property, traumatized the family with, machine guns and flak jackets and helicopters and things like that. The next year, seeing that was a little bit of overkill, so to speak, the government came in and did a consensual weed whacking of the crop. The third year, the government decided to bring this action and try to put an end to it.
Explain to people out there why this is necessary for you to make a living.
People believe that because Indians have casinos that we're rich, but we're not. And that's, we're trying to change that. We want to get into the hemp industry to create economic development for ourselves, for our youth.
Could you get high off industrial hemp?
No, you can't. You can't get high off of industrial hemp.
Come on. My grandson traded me out of my best horse. It's the biggest horse, but he's the littlest guy, but he rides the biggest horse. I'm the leader. My family, I'm the nutjaw. And I have 9 brothers and sisters. We grew up as orphans. So we were, at one time, a loving, whole, healthy family. And one morning we woke up and we were by ourselves. For the past 50 years, I've raised my family here, and this is the original allotment that my grandparents have received. We're trying to figure out a way that we can sustain ourselves economically.
We're trying to, let the federal government know that, hey, you put us in this prison, but you put us in here with a paper that says we can do and grow what we want to in here.
We tried growing alfalfa, barley. They take too much nutrients out of the ground. They ruin the ground after 4 or 5 years. We raised horses. We raised buffaloes. We planted corn at one time. So we have many little ventures going, but none of them really make enough money to support the whole family.
We have over 16,000 able-bodied people in the workforce, and we have less than 3,000 jobs. So that leaves 13,000, 14,000 of us who can work without a place to work.
How are you?
You're right.
We just came to the consensus that we're tired of living this way. We're tired of being, dependent on the U.S. government for food stamps and commodities and, looking for handouts to pay our light bill and going a couple months without electricity and all that. And what can we do? Well, we can grow hemp.
The federal government was paying for this gentleman, David Marley, to go amongst various Indian tribes, bring hemp seeds, and teach them how to grow hemp and how to process it. There's actual evidence of correspondence saying if the tribes on the plains are going to give up their nomadic wandering, they have to have a fiber crop, and I believe that can only be hemp.
Through Manderson, all along the creeks, it just grows wild. It is ideal crop because it does grow so wild there, and it just thrives for Pine Ridge.
If you have a crop that you can grow on Indian reservations or any other part of rural North America in which people can make hundreds of dollars an acre by harvesting, you change very substantially the employment picture.
It's a cash crop. You plant a seed, 120 days later, you take your seeds and sell them. And we like it because it's earth-friendly. It doesn't have no chemicals. It doesn't have no danger. You can make clothing. You can make lipstick. You can make perfume. So we thought about it and we said, well, this is for us.
For thousands of years, this plant had been grown for cordage and coarse cloth in China and elsewhere in the East. In 1942, patriotic farmers, at the government's request, planted 36,000 acres of seed hemp. Thus, plans are afoot for a great expansion of the hemp industry as a part of the war program. Just as in the days when old Ironside sailed the seas victorious, with her hempen shrouds and hempen sails, hemp for victory.
It's classified together with marijuana under the Controlled Substances Act because it is cannabis sativa. It doesn't need to be. One of the greatest nightmares of marijuana growers would be to have industrial hemp anywhere near their marijuana plants. If the industrial hemp has less than 0.5% of THC and the marijuana plant has 20%, then the next generation of marijuana plants are going to be about 10% THC.
Look, I can tell you 12 reasons why the drug war is a mistake, and 17 things the DEA should be doing differently. But this is bogus. And we've got serious drug problems in this country, both the drugs themselves and some dumb policies toward them. And instead I'm talking to you about industrial hemp? Please.
In 1851, the United States government sent some commissioners down here to initiate a treaty. And at that time, they just wanted a trail to cross through our territory. And these treaties allow us, as long as the rivers flows and the grasses grow and that the buffalo exists, that we have this land for undisturbed use of the Lakota. But before the ink was dry, they found gold in our sacred Black Hills, violated the treaties, and they took our land.
Just now tuning in, this is Vic Camp with the Oyaku Hour on Kili Radio. First of all, I would like to say good morning to all my relatives across this great Lakota nation. You know, it is 4th of July weekend, and maybe some people want to celebrate America's independence. For me, it's a day of mourning, a day of sadness, because I know that another nation came here and declared their independence on our land. So when people do come and ask us, what is sovereignty, we'll be able to let them know that our people did make this treaty with the government, and sovereignty is ours here on the Lakota Nation.
In our treaties with America, we retained our sovereignty. It's not something America gave us. Sovereignty can never be given to anyone.
What do you think tribal sovereignty means in the 21st century?
Tribal sovereignty means that it's sovereign. I mean, you've been given sovereignty, and you're viewed as a sovereign entity. And therefore, the relationship between the federal government and tribes is one between sovereign entities. I think that one of the most promising areas of all is to help with economic development.
We're not coming from Washington to tell you exactly what to do and how to do it. We're coming from Washington to ask you what you want to do and tell you we will give you the tools and the support to get done what you want to do for your children and their future.
Our elders supported this. Our families supported this. The Teoshpes across the reservation supported this. Our tribal government supported this. We had all the authority we needed.
It was a cool, clear, crisp morning, and we all went out there and we started planting it. It was really a beautiful thing. That first year when we planted, it was really a powerful feeling.
So what's the worst thing that could happen in all reality?
Worst is we get a drought, not very good crop.
I'm talking about it.
That's the worst. I'm telling you what the worst case scenario is. The U.S. government wants to ride in here and make that mistake, we'll tear down the entire law throughout the whole country. So, come on in. You know, nothing's going to happen except a good harvest.
Yeah. A little bit after 6 o'clock in the morning, my little brother called me and he said, "Heap the law," he said. They arrived or they came. And he didn't say who, but I knew who it was. Those agents were standing there with their mini-15s, M15s, pointing his gun at me, and he said, "Halt!" 3 times. For a split second, I had a little bit of fear, and then something inside me just got angry. They're just like a charge, and I just looked at him and I said, I'm not going to say what I said, but I said, "You're going to have to shoot me in the back," and I just started walking.
Operations commenced. Walked down to the end of the field, and we have bundles of 10 plants each. And these will be collected up and put in the bulk. This is the field after eradication operations. Time is approximately 8:09 a.m. local time. St. Louis Field Division, Texas.
I told him, you're violating the tribal law. This is our family land. This is our Tioshbai's land. You're violating us. And you're taking something that we planted. We're going to sell that. We got people coming to buy that. You can't do this to us. Oh, they took it down anyway. They started their machines, and it didn't take them too long. As I stood there and watched, that helicopter would hover above, and the hemp plants were so tall, they would way back and forth and just knock those agents around a little bit, and I seen that, so I said, all right, they're fighting.
I remember Alex came down and he said, well, we didn't know they were coming. What was the shock? And then we talked about, well, there's next year,